Hello guys, this is Doran's Movies, and today I'll be giving you top 10 strongest mortals in World of Warcraft. As I previously covered the most powerful beings, in this video I will be talking about mortals more closer to our level. Do keep in mind that if a character is higher than another one on the list, that doesn't necessarily mean that he could defeat him in a duel or that he is that much stronger. So without further ado, let's get into the lore. Number 10. Galakrond. Galakrond was the biggest proto-dragon that ever lived. Originally, he was just a regular dragon, but as he started eating his own kin, he turned into a monstrosity. Not long after, his size was increased tremendously, and his roar would be heard from miles around. He had mutated so much that he grew extra eyes and limbs while his skin started to decay. Galakrond's act of cannibalism not only killed his fellow proto-dragons, but also turned them into undead, bound to his will. The Titan Watcher Tyr realized that he was a big threat to the world, and he grouped up with 5 other proto-dragons to deal with Galakrond. He was eventually killed, but not as easily, as the Titan Keeper lost his hand in the process and many died to Galakrond. The issue was so big that following his death, the dragon aspects were created in order to safeguard the world. With no question in mind, Galakrond was the first and one of the biggest threats to the safety of Azeroth. Number 9. Illidan Stormrage. Illidan, also known as the Betrayer, is one of the most influential characters in the lore. He is behind the creation of the Second Well of Eternity, and for that fact, he was imprisoned for 10,000 years. Recently, he was freed and almost immediately absorbed the Skull of Ghouldan, granting himself immense power and causing a significant blow to the Burning Legion. After that, he was a servant of Kil'jaeden, while at the same time planning to turn against him. Eventually, Illidan reached Outland that he almost entirely conquered and made it his base of operations. From the Black Temple, he created the Demon Hunter Order that was supposed to put an end to the Endless Legion. They had some great successes here and there, such as destroying the world of the Dreadlords, but the plan was put to a halt when he was defeated by the arrivals from Azeroth. Today, Illidan is still a very important character and will play a crucial role in the ultimate fight against the Legion. Aside from his recent support of the Naaru, he is a very powerful demon hunter, the strongest one out there, with his soul bound to the Twisting Nether. In his life, he had defeated many great demons, and on top of that, dealing a heavy blow to the Burning Legion itself. So, without a doubt, Illidan is one of the strongest characters around. Number 8. Malfurion Stormrage. Malfurion was the first ever druid on Azeroth and the one responsible for spreading this art to his people. His biggest achievement ever is halting the Burning Legion and destroying the Well of Eternity, causing the Sundering, pretty much turning the world to what it is today. After that, he spent countless years inside the Emerald Dream, learning all there is to learn, becoming the strongest druid around. In the recent times, Malfurion once again prevented the Burning Legion from taking the world by calling upon thousands of ancestral guardians, completely obliterating Archimond. In the following years, Stormrage also helped in saving the world from the Emerald Nightmare and Ragnaros the Firelord. The best representation of his power during this time was him calling upon a massive vortex in Darkshore, keeping the entire landmass from collapsing into the sea. Most recently with Legion, Malfurion once again faces Xavius in the Emerald Nightmare, this time almost succumbing to it, but in the end being freed. In conclusion, Malfurion Stormrage is a druid with immense sway over nature and many great achievements under his belt, definitely making him one of the strongest mortals on Azeroth. Number 7. Khadgar. Khadgar is one of the most accomplished mages on Azeroth. He was a student of Medivh and the one responsible for defeating him and freeing him from the grasp of Sargeras. After that, he destroyed the Dark Portal, putting an end to the orc invasions that his master had started. In the following years, Khadgar spent a lot of time studying under the Naru Adal, getting a bigger picture of the threat that is the Burning Legion. With all of this new knowledge, he has returned to Dalaran as a part of the Council of Six, although more importantly leading the forces of Azeroth to the mission on the alternate world of Draenor. There he helps us stop the Iron Horde and defeat the Burning Legion. Furthermore, Khadgar follows Ghouldan into Azeroth and attempts to stop him from starting the new invasion, being quite a match for him, but in the end failing. Today, Khadgar is one of the, if not the most crucial character in the defense of Azeroth. Based on all of his great achievements, from the destruction of the Dark Portal, defeat of Deathwing in Outland, the stopping of Legion on Draenor, and various other achievements, Khadgar is one of the most powerful mortals in the lore. Number 6. Eachwin. Magna Eachwin was one of the most influential mages to ever live on Azeroth. As a young student, she was extremely talented, and for this, Eachwin was chosen as the new guardian of Tirisfal. This meant that she would be a conductor of the Council's magic, granting her immense power. Her most prominent achievement happened some 850 years ago when Eachwin faced off the actual avatar of Sargeras, defeating him. Of course, this was only a tiny portion of his strength, but nevertheless still extremely powerful. After the battle, she created the Tome of Sargeras, hoping to contain this threat for all time. Unfortunately, he did transfer his spirit into her body, which created the history as we know it today. Following that event, Eachwin spent many years in exile, eventually passing most of her power along with the spirit of Sargeras into her son Medivh. When Medivh was killed, she saved up magic in her weakened state to actually revive him. Eachwin finally met her end in the battle against Cho'Gall, where she sacrificed herself for her grandson Medan. Going through her achievements with the fight against the Avatar of Sargeras, the resurrection and the creation of Karazhan, there is no doubt that Eachwin is one of the strongest mortals and one of the strongest mages to ever live on Azeroth. Number 5. Medivh. Medivh is the son of Eachwin and the last guardian of Tirisfal. His mother transferred most of her power along with the spirit of Sargeras into him. Through Sargeras, Medivh opened the portal on Azeroth, which led to the orc invasions. Eventually, he was killed, which released him from the grasp of Sargeras, the evil inside him. Being resurrected by his mother, Medivh then went on to warn the mortal races about the Burning Legion invasion, playing a very crucial part in saving the world. After that, not much is really known about him or even his actual form, but he might make a reappearance in Legion. At this point, it is really hard to estimate Medivh's true strength due to the lack of any major battles, but it is known that at his peak of power, he was one of the strongest individuals on Azeroth. Not only did Medivh have the power of the Council of Tirisfal, which was a lot in itself, but he also had the spirit of Sargeras. On top of this, his home Karazhan sat on ley lines, granting him the ability to tap into immense energy. During the peak of his power, even Deathwing said he wouldn't face him in battle, although that was before the significant old god empowerment. So all in all, Medivh was extremely powerful, without the essence of Sargeras not as much, but still a very influential character. Number 4. Lich King. After the Orc Wars, Ner'zhul was captured by Kil'jaeden. Deciding to use him one last time, he tore his body apart, chaining his spirit inside the Frozen Throne. This created the first Lich King that had a task to prepare the world for the upcoming Legion invasion. Ner'zhul was very successful, and not long after he controlled most of Northrend and destroyed many of the human kingdoms. However, everything changed when he defected from the Legion, ultimately merging with Prince Arthas Menethil. At this point, the Lich King was stronger than ever, and after a few years of building up, Arthas reached the peak of his power. Under his command, he had a massive undead army known as the Scourge that caused a lot of damage to Azeroth. He himself was also very powerful with Frostmourne, killing various champions. Eventually, Arthas was defeated, but the Lich King still exists through Bolvar Fordragon, although more as a shell of his former self. Nevertheless, at the peak, the Lich King was one of the strongest mortals on Azeroth. When it comes to personal strength, he was very dominant, but not the most influential entity ever. However, the biggest part of his power came through his mind control abilities, allowing the Lich King to command massive undead armies. These two powers combined got him very close to taking control over the entire world of Azeroth. Number 3. Ghouldan. In this case, I'm talking about both the main universe and the alternate universe, although more focusing on the alternate one. The two different versions have drastically different backstories, but the main thing that binds them is the fact that they both ended up on Azeroth. The original Ghouldan was behind the Orc invasion and ended up dying in the Tomb of Sargeras as he betrayed his master. The alternate one is completely different, as he is now sent by Kil'jaeden to the Tomb of Sargeras to open up the portal for the Legion to invade. However, the main difference between the two is that the first one is mainly a manipulator, never really fighting his own battles, and the second one is more like a fell powerhouse. During the recent events, he did face off Khadgar and was very evenly matched, but Ghouldan has received way more power since then from Kil'jaeden. Currently, he is the key to the Legion invasion, and for that, his demonic masters are bestowing incredible strength upon him. Of course, without this power, he might have not even made it on this list, but his achievements are still undeniable, from resurrecting Manroth to summoning Archimonde, opening a Legion portal on Azeroth, and various other feats of strength. Ghouldan is, without a single doubt, one of the strongest mortals to ever lay a foot on Azeroth. Number 2. Queen Azshara. Azshara was one of the most influential Night Elves and their first real leader. Under her reign, the Night Elven Empire completely prospered. At one point, Kaldrai borders were spanning over most of Azeroth. However, everything would change when, in her search for glory, she betrayed her people and allied with the Burning Legion. The Legion was eventually defeated and the world sundered, which caused Azshara and her followers to ally with the Old Gods, becoming what we know today as the Naga. She is now their leader, and not much is really known about her, but as we have seen in Legion, her Naga armies are a serious threat. Azshara as a Night Elf was one of the strongest mages Azeroth had ever seen, if not the strongest one, with Manroth even saying that only Archimonde and Kil'jaeden surpass her power. Of course, she had a giant pool of Titan blood in her backyard known as the Well of Eternity, but nevertheless her own capabilities were still exceptional. Today, Azshara is the Naga Queen, and her powers have definitely multiplied with the Old God influence. We don't really know her current exact strength, but based on her achievements and the fact that she led one of the most powerful empires on Azeroth, Azshara is without a doubt one of the strongest mortals to ever live. Number 1. Lei Shen. Lei Shen was the son of a Mogu warlord. His rise to prominence came after the death of his father, when he searched for answers, desperate with the curse of flesh that was gripping his people. eventually he reached the Titanic Watcher Ra, who had gone into hiding many years prior. Ra, aware that the Pantheon was dead as he had the lingering spirit of Amontul, fell into despair as he explained the entire situation. However, Shan had a complete opposite reaction, and without a warning he struck and imprisoned Ra, and not only stole his immense power, but also the last remaining spirit of an actual Titan. With this insane newfound strength, he quickly united all of the Mogu, becoming known as the Thunder King. Not only did he unite his people, but he also enslaved all of the other native races in Pandaria, even defeating the wild god Eachwin. Shan's empire grew immensely, and he even had the audacity to attempt to claim Uldum and all of the powerful Titan machinery. Unfortunately for him, the Tolvir activated the Forge of Origination, calibrating it just for the surrounding area. Finally, in the explosion, Shan met his end, only dying to a force meant to re-originate the entire planet. Thousands of years later, he was resurrected, but his power would never be the same. At the peak of his strength, the Thunder King, with the essence of a Titan Keeper and an actual Titan, was without a doubt extremely powerful. Alright, and that is all I have for this video. Do keep in mind that I purposely didn't include certain characters like Broxigar, as I already covered him in a recent video, and also characters like Medivh that are almost retconned in the lore. Also, there are other characters that are on a similar level that I just didn't have enough space to put on the list, and just because some characters are higher on the list than the other ones, keep in mind that that doesn't necessarily mean that they're stronger than the other. However, feel free to leave your own list below and share your thoughts on the strongest mortal characters. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content like this, and like the video as it really helps out and keeps the channel going. Thanks a lot for taking the time out of your day to watch this video, and see you next time.